Hi everyone. Well, we're looking forward to welcoming you to worship with us at the chapel together at 11 o'clock on Wednesday the 14th of October. And we thought it might be helpful before we meet to just give you a quick run through of what to expect when you get here on the morning and some of the things we've been putting in place to help you stay safe. So before you arrive on the morning, there'll have been a team of us who'll have been in and been cleaning everything as much as we can to make sure all the surfaces and what have you are clean. And we're asking you for that reason not to arrive until 10 minutes before the service starts, just so we can make sure everything is ready and we won't be opening the doors until then. When you arrive, you'll be invited to come in this gate, and the first thing that you'll notice will be these cones down on the floor. These are at 2 metre spaces, and these are for you to queue by. So we'd ask you to just wait by the cone until you're called forward by the steward. As you come up the path, he says, trying to walk backwards, you'll be met here by a steward who will check and will ask you if you have any symptoms of coronavirus. That's something that we have to do. Make sure that you're booked in for the service if we're full to capacity, and also make sure that you've got your mask or face covering. You need to make sure you bring this with you, because if you don't have one and you're not exempt from wearing one, then we won't be able to let you in. But once you pass there, once the space is cleared, we'll invite you in to the chapel itself. And the first thing you'll see in front of you on the door there is the NHS QR code. This is for those of us who have the app, and if you haven't got the app, then I'd encourage you to go and download it to scan into the venue. You might have already done this in restaurants, cafes, things like that. That's just a way of everything staying safe. That's something that we have to have up. Come around here and you'll meet another steward waiting in the foyer here. They will check that we've got the right details on file for you. Again, this is for the NHS test and trace. And you'll also be asked to come to this table down here and wash your hands. And then once you've done all that, you'll be invited in to the chapel itself. Now you'll notice a few changes in here. We haven't got it all set up completely yet. You'll notice that some of the pews are roped off to stop people using those ones, and that's to make sure that nobody sits in those. And then someone will direct you to the seat. We're going to fill up from the front, and what you'll notice when you're directed into a pew is blue spots, a little bit like these ones, which are fairly self-explanatory. You sit there, and that's where we'd ask you to stay. Unfortunately, because of the layout of this place, we can't have couples sitting together because we have to keep people at the end of pews to make sure they stay 2 meters apart. And if that starts shifting around because some people are sitting on their own, some people sitting in a couple, it all gets hideously complicated. So we just can't do that. And the service will be led by someone standing behind a plastic screen like this, or wearing a visor like this one. The service will last around about half an hour. There'll be some liturgy, there'll be some prayers, there'll be a short biblical reflection, and some exploring some different ways of worshipping together in the limitations that we've got. Now, during that time, there's a couple of things that we do need to remember. One is that we have to keep our face coverings on the whole time, so try and make sure you've got one that's comfortable to do that. The second thing is that whilst we will have the heating on, we also do need to leave the doors open for better ventilation, so you might want to make sure that you bring a warm coat with you. Finally, we're not allowed to provide any Bibles or song sheets or hymn sheets or anything like that in any way. So the words will be projected on the screen behind me as normal. But if you want to bring a Bible with you, then please feel free to bring your own. Finally, we're not allowed any drinks either. So do bring a bottle of water or something if you think you might need that. At the end of the service, it's very straightforward. We'll ask you to leave one row at a time, starting from the back and working forward to the front. Again, you'll be encouraged to wash your hands on the way out. And we'd ask you that, especially after the service, that you don't hang around either just outside the building, don't gather in groups to have a chat or anything like that. We have to ask you to move away as quickly as possible. So I hope that's all okay. If you have any comments or questions, please don't hesitate to get in touch. Details appearing on the screen now. Otherwise, if you'd like to come to this service, and please do come and join us, we'd love it if you could go online and book in. Again, if you have any trouble with that, do get in touch. Otherwise, we look forward to seeing you then.